Hey, what's up? What's going on out there? I was checking out this short with Shannon Sharp and Gilly, and Gilly was talking about how he spoke to King Von before he passed away, and King Von was basically talking about conflict resolution, and I guess it really stuck with Gilly what King Von was saying, but he couldn't follow through with those things because everybody know that he lost his life, participating in a certain lifestyle. But I'm going to check out the video and give my 1-2.
You had King Von on your pod before he tragically lost his life. Where were you when you got the news, and what?
You know what? It's a tragedy depending on who you talk to. I'm sure his family, friends, are sad he died. But if you follow how he lived, you're not surprised. And honestly, I'm not shocked. Like if you're looking for certain things or living a certain way, you're going to receive those things back to you. Believe me. And the people of the good book know what I'm talking about. Is a verse in Ecclesiasticus where it says that whatever you want, you're going to get it. So if you're putting that type of energy out there like that, best believe it's going to come back to you.
You thinking like, damn, I had young blood.
It was like a week later, and the only thing that was stuck in my head was a line that he said on the podcast. He said, "Gilly, shit don't even be that deep, Gilly. But us young guys don't know how to talk to each other. Only if young guys took the chance to talk to each other, they would realize that, bro, I really don't even want to be beefing with you. I don't want to be beefing with you either. I like your music. But they never even get a chance to talk to each other."
So that tells me Von had enough sense to know that what he was doing was wrong or did or whatever the case may be. And he had sense enough to know that if we actually participated in some conflict resolution, a lot of these bodies wouldn't be dropping and a lot of this stuff wouldn't be going on in the hood, and it could be resolved peacefully if we talked it out, man to man or whatever. In another script I was thinking about too, when the Messiah was talking about if you have a problem, if your brother sins against you, and this is in Matthew chapter 18, 18, basically if your brother sins against you, you go to him and tell him his faults. And if you all resolve the issue, then you gain a brother. So the conflict resolution is a big deal because I could think about countless situations, people I know, people I've been in situations where if I took it a certain way or somebody took it a certain way, it could have went left real fast. But learning how to talk to people and understand where they're coming from, even if you don't agree with them 100% or whatever, just get an understanding and be like, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. But when we see each other, we'll just be respectful to each other. Or it could be the flip side where you all can become the best of friends. You never know.
My generation in the culture, we looked up to the hustlers. We looked up to somebody that was getting money. This generation made the shooter popular to where as though he don't have no money, he has nothing going on for himself, but he shoots.
That's another thing Gilly was saying about my generation looks up to the hustler, and this generation looks up to the shooter. Now, when he's talking about, not hustler, getting money, he's not talking about some lawyer or some dude that got his own business around the way or something. He's talking about people that was hustling, like, with the situation, when I say situation with drugs, like they were hustling. They probably had the cars, the money, women, etc. All that stuff that comes with it. So he's not talking about some average Joe that's either working a job or just got his own business or he's a physician, whatever. He's talking about people that hustle, and then he's talking about, well, this generation looks up to shooters. What's the difference? Back in the day, it's still, those things are still tied together. Hustling, the streets, murder game, all that stuff is tied together, whether they like it or not. Maybe it was less violence, quote unquote, back then, but I doubt it. It's probably the same. I've seen some statistics where it was worse, in the 90s, early 2000s, so who's to say it's a difference? Now it's like cameras everywhere, so dudes probably can't, be on the corner getting it like that. but at the same time, the same things were still in effect. Guns were everywhere. What I would say is like now with the gun thing, it's like it seemed like Instagram and the social media coaches made that worse with people beefing on the internet. I'd probably say that's the biggest difference. People just that damn dumb. They just get into it on the internet and then ended up deleting somebody, not knowing the whole damn world can see it, and then bragging about it. That's just stupidity. I guarantee you, if Instagram and stuff like that was out back then, the same type of debauchery and noise and nonsense and degenerate behavior would be on display. So to me, it wouldn't be a difference. Because back then it wasn't as many cameras. Now it's cameras every damn way. So you're getting exposed to more things. So to Gilly's scenario, looking up to the hustler, whatever the case may be, both of the scenarios, you're looking up to a degenerate situation, period. And those who live in impoverished areas, or in the hood, know what time it is when he says that. Because when the hustler came, what did the hustler bring? Death, destruction. Even though he would look like, he might be giving out some turkeys on Thanksgiving or whatever the case may be, look at the people he was destroying. Even if he was maintaining himself, some way or another, he was destroying somebody in his community, somebody that looked like him, whether he would want to admit it or not. So they had something to do with the destruction of the community. But, that's my 1-2 on it. It was an interesting little blurb right there. But I think King Von, if he really used his power correctly, he could have saved a lot of lives and steered more people in the right direction. Because, he came from the streets, jail system, you name it, all the gangster top stuff you can name. Dude seemed like he was about all that. But he had a golden opportunity to change his life based on what Gilly said, to show others around him and others in his community that you can do other things and we can talk it out and we can change our lives if he decided to go in that direction. But it was just a missed opportunity, and the young brother lost his life. But yeah, that's my 1-2 on it. Let me know what you think.